to sort of think about what just happened. That was probably our least elegant exit from a mooring. We've been very productive here because we haven't had to worry about the motion of the boat. Today we're just going to make a short sail and practice for the first time long lining to shore. That was absolutely incredible. Hey guys, so we're starting this week's episode with our least graceful exit from a med mooring here in Lefkas. Let's start by explaining exactly what went wrong and what we learnt along the way. So a very quick debrief on what just happened. We just left that tight mooring with only 7 knots of crosswind, so there really wasn't a lot, and we need to sort of think about what just happened. The wind was pushing on our port side of the bow and pushing us into the catamaran on the starboard side. Even though we were letting ourselves out very slowly with the stern lines, there wasn't enough tension on the bow line, which was the anchor chain, to control the bow. And I think the lesson for next time is to pull in the anchor chain a little bit quicker so we maintain a straight line. What I was just saying to Laura is when I'm exiting a mooring, I do my best to avoid using the engine at all and use the lines to position the boat, because once you start using the engine, or at least on this boat, if I pop it in reverse, I get prop walk immediately to the port side. If I pop it in forward, then my turns can be sharper than I want them to be. So lesson for next time is really use the anchor chain to really direct the boat and just gradually ease the stern line so we can leave in a nice clean forward motion, or as clean as possible. That was probably our least elegant exit from a mooring in a long time. It's embarrassing, but that happens. It happens, but that's how you learn as well, right? Or at least I hope so.
And also the most important thing is that nobody has been hurt and the boats are all fine, so for me it's the most important.
Anyway, we're on our way to Nidri. Very pretty countryside around here. Look at that, there's bales of hay in the background there.
Yeah, it's nice, really
Cute.
Nice.
In Nidri, there are 2 famous anchoring spots, Tranquil Bay and Vliho Bay. We'd read up on a couple of local hotels having private jetties here and at a very reasonable price, so we decided to give the Iris Hotel a try. We couldn't remember the last time we'd slept in a normal bed, so we decided to take advantage of this gorgeous setting and spend a couple of nights at the hotel.
38, that's what it is.
Well, it's a nice place to call home for a couple of nights. Unfortunately, I have to work this afternoon, but I'm hoping to do only 4 hours of work and have enough time to spend a bit of time in the pool.
Welcome.
So here we are in the Hotel Iris here in Nidri, and it is a gorgeous, gorgeous place to stay and look over your boat in the private pontoon directly in front. It's a pretty special place, and the staff here are so awesome.
Yeah.
They're really looking after us well, and they've got obviously a lot of repeat customers here, so there's probably a reason for that. So last night we caught up with some fellow sailors from Belgium, actually, on board their catamaran Bella Bianca. We had fantastic cocktails on board their boat yesterday afternoon.
And our boat as well.
That's true.
We did on Talia first and then on Bella Bianca.
Yeah, you'll forgive me for forgetting exactly the chronology of things yesterday. It was, as Law reminded me this morning, there's a reason why my head is hurting so much this morning.
We had a nice dinner at the hotel afterwards with them.
Sure.
We went to bed quite late, which wasn't so good for me on the following day, because working when you went to bed a bit late, it's not that great, but we made it.
Yes, I think we've just finished the episode that we've been working on for the last, the last few days, both on the boat and off the boat here. And yeah, we've been very productive here because we haven't had to worry about the motion of the boat or moving from point A to point B, so it's been very cool. So tonight we're gonna head over and maybe catch up one more time with Anne-Sophie and Pierre from Bella Bianca and have a quiet dinner tonight, much quieter than last night, I hope, and then we will decide what to do tomorrow, because this is our last night, second night and last night in this hotel room. So back on board Talia tomorrow. Anyway, we will catch you later. Bye for now.
Bye.
So after a few very relaxing days of R&R here at the Hotel Iris Pier in Nidri, we've decided the time is right to carry on. So tell you what, we needed a bit of rest after that trip down from Corfu, where we spent a lot of time obviously in the yard, but then after that we were at anchor and
in the islands, and then back on mainland Greece in Preveza and Lefkas.
Yeah.
On the Tonki.
So what was quite handy having the protection here is we were able to leave the boat and go into town and top up our subscriptions with the SIM card provider here in Greece, so that we're able to produce these episodes and actually put them on the internet, because relying on the Wi-Fi in most places is pretty challenging.
But it's okay, we made it with the 4G now, so
yeah.
So technically we can upload our videos wherever we are now.
Exactly. Today we're just going to make a short sail over to the island of Meganisi and practice for the first time something we haven't done yet.
I can't wait for that.
Long lining to shore, so that will be very interesting. Stay tuned and let's see how this goes. So applying the lessons we'd learnt the hard way in Lefkas, we were happy to leave Nidri without incident. So as we're on our way over to Meganisi after some beautiful days in Nidri, just south of Lefkada, we are passing the famous island of Scorpios. Now Scorpios you may know from American history, because after Jackie Kennedy became a widow, she married a gentleman by the name of Aristotle Onassis, who had a few extra dollars or euros or drachma, I think it would have been back in those days, and he bought this island, and well, they got married in that island. So Jackie Kennedy became Jackie Onassis. Now, in 2013, this island was bought by a Russian billionaire, and rumor on the street has it that they're going to be turning this island, which has been out of bounds for the public for, well, pretty much since the Onassis bought it. They're going to be turning the island into a luxury resort. So if you want to feed a few dollars or euros to the Russian oligarchs, Scorpios is the place to be. So it's Saturday morning, and as we've seen already here in these Ionian Islands, there are thousands of charter boats here. Now, Saturday and Sunday is usually the switchover day for charters, so we're hoping that this bay that we're going into is going to be a little less busy than usual because people are heading north to Lefkas or Lefkada to drop back their charter boats. Fingers crossed, let's see. In any case, there should be enough space in this bay for us to anchor in the middle of nowhere if needs be, or let's be honest, Meganisi is full of anchorages. I can see at least 2 from where we are, no, 3 from where we are here, so we'll find somewhere. But it'll be really nice if we can get to this place that we want to get to. It's nice, deep, sandy bay where we can long line pretty easily to shore, apparently. Now let's see, if there's 20 knots of katabatic wind in there when we arrive, then we might have to find an alternative. But all being well, should be okay. Do you want to learn how to do this? Because the scenario if you tie up to a rock is going to be very different to the scenario if you tie up to a tree. So you need to know both options. For long lining, you've got 2 different options to tie up, depending on whether you're tying up to a rock or tying up to a tree. Because a tree, you're not going to be able to loop anything over it, right? Because it's going to be too tall. So for a rock, in both cases, you'll use a bowline. So let's start with what you would do for a rock. So you just do a standard bowline knot at the end of the line, like that. And then what you'll do, because the other end of the line will keep on board the boat. Yeah. So what you'll do is just with the long piece, you just pull it through it, and then you've created a loop that closes in on itself, you see? Ah, yes. I understand. So you put it over the rock, and then it's locked in. So for the tree. So you're out, you get to your tree, you put it around the tree, and then this is going to be loose. I'm not going to tighten it until you tell me to tighten it. Okay. So you put it around the tree. So that's the tree. I've gone around it. I do my bowline knot. Oops. Ah, yeah, I do a bowline knot. Like that. And you say to me, hey Luke, it's secure, and then I can tighten this up. For the rock, you try it out. In. Around the trees. Ah, that's a good one. Like that. Pull that through itself. And this, you're not using that as the anchor point. You're using this as the anchor point. You pull it through, and that's your loop. And then you, see? So Laura's going up to the bow to look for shallow water and to look for sand for us to drop the anchor, but we're still very early. We've still got to go in, suss out the anchorage, find the right spot to drop anchor before then pulling back towards land. Not much wind. We've got really 3 knots apparent at 60 degrees, so realistically there's no wind. Well, what I'll do is I'll try and put us at equal distance between the two boats. Depth 13 meters here, how bizarre. Okay, get ready to drop the anchor. Yeah, go. 14 meters. Get 20 meters out. Stop. How much have we got there? It's okay, we're in 8 meters of water here. Hang on from here. You got it. If there's any problems, I'll just sail back to Nidri, okay? You can swim, right? Well, for our first time, it wasn't too bad, I thought. The big question is going to be, where is she going to actually tie us off? So we've just made a triumphant first attempt at long lining to shore, and all seemed to work well. Law's come in here and tried to turn on the tap, and no water came out. So, checked the pressure is on. The bilges have filled with water, or filled enough to trigger the float switch. So I've just checked, there's still water in the tanks, but it looks like there's a leak between the water pump and the accumulator tank, which I might be able to fix, or I should be able to fix. But it's never fun when you see this much water in your bilge. Okay, so we're back on the water again. Now, a quick run through what happened yesterday. So, as you saw, we got into Meganisi, we long lined, we were perfectly set, the day was perfect, it was calm. Law went to turn the tap on, as you saw, and there was no water, and the pump had died. So, we turned around, came back to Lefkas, just in case we needed parts or assistance that was beyond my competence. And once we got in, I took everything apart and found that the problem wasn't the pump itself. The pump had indeed overheated, but only because it was being under constant use while we were on the way to Meganisi yesterday. So by the time we got back to Nidri, the pump had cooled down, and I was able to identify that it was actually one of the connectors that I bought in Sicily that was leaking, and not the pump itself. So I went back to a single line system, or a simple bypass of the accumulator tank, like what I had done as a temporary solution over winter, and found out that I could actually just fix the connector and be done with it, so that's what I did. So it turns out that the trip back to Nidri was unnecessary, but I must say it did help having access to a bit of electricity to boil water and things like that in order to loosen or make flexible some of the hoses. But apart from that, yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, we've got a bit more wind today. We'll sail a little bit over to Meganisi now and try and do the same process again with a crosswind. Should be fun. Stay tuned. That was absolutely incredible. I have never in my life ever seen a seal in the wild. That was so cool. I really didn't expect to see that here. I was expecting obviously dolphins, maybe some turtles if we're lucky, but never a seal. And that was a big bugger as well. Oh, that was so cool. Second time long lining to shore, and it was a little less elegant than the last time, but we managed it. We had the neighbours on this boat behind us watching us very carefully. Law tested the new center headsets in a wet environment, and well, let's just say this much. It's very deep as you get to shore behind there, and she dived in head first, and bizarrely these headsets still actually work. I'm sure that's not what they're made for, but I am pretty bloody impressed at this stage. Thanks for watching, guys. We hope that you enjoyed this week's episode. Please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed watching us tangle knots. And if you're new to our channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button to ensure you don't miss a step along the way.